on, babe. Rise and shine. Let's get that beautiful ass out of bed.
You want cereal? What's a tiger?
Please get a room.
Sorry.
None of this is real. None of this is real.
All these memories were imprinted.
My name is Alice.
Alice, how nice to see you again.
What the hell is going on here?
We have you under our control.
They used me to perfect the virus. Everyone I've ever known. Everything I've ever done is being used against me. Now they can manipulate the world.
We've taken over New York, Moscow, Tokyo. This is humanity's last stand. The beginning of the end.
I'm gonna kill you.
Good luck. You'll need it.
Resident Evil Retribution, the 5th volume of the Resident Evil film franchise. I think they must have known that there's going to be one more movie after this, and then they were going to be done with this iteration of Resident Evil. If they're all profitable, we knew that they were going to make more. They have made more. They continue to make more. They'll probably continue to make more for way longer than...
As long as it keeps making money.
Yeah, longer than we would be expecting. But I think knowing that the next was going to be the big fight movie that was going to supposedly wrap things up, what they're trying to do here is a little bit of like a greatest hits package.
Yeah.
It gives me the vibe of like Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Where like they revisited all the characters and they had like these throwback calls, and then like there's even like a scroll at the end of like, remember all these other better movies?
We're gonna bring some of them back.
Not even that Lethal Weapon 4 is terrible, but it's always reminding you that it's part of a
bigger
franchise.
Yeah.
So they bring back all these actors that were in previous installments, including Michelle Rodriguez and
the entire star team, basically.
the star
from the
team
first one,
the first movie, yeah. And so we can say, hey, that guy, and maybe their fates will be the same, maybe their fates will be different. And it's disorienting. Like, it opens up and first of all,
opens up on the boat, right?
Backwards action sequence on the boat.
Yeah, the backwards, which... Okay, go ahead, sorry.
We see that it went really badly on the boat. We start with Mila in the water, and it shows us the action sequence backwards as the credits roll. And then when the credits finish, shows it all happen again, which is a cool conceit for an opening credit sequence. We'll give it that.
Yeah.
But again, it's another time where they spend an entire movie setting up a fight that we only kind of saw, sort of. And we didn't really see what happened to all of the important players.
Yeah.
And when Alice opens her eyes and she's married to a guy who died in the third movie, and she's got a little girl who they communicate using sign language, but she doesn't seem to be deaf.
It's very odd.
It's so weird. And then the zombies just attack, and we're like, okay, so is she dreaming? Does this matter? And looks like Alice gets killed, and then we cut to a different Alice.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was a dream, but... No, because we're going to come back to these characters later on.
Exactly.
And
hashtag not a dream.
Yeah. And I found this, and I talked to you about this at the introduction. I had some personal shit going on in my life. Well, this is peripherally.
Yep.
So I was having trouble focusing a little bit on the task at hand, which was like trying to make sense of a Resident Evil movie.
I mean, if you're distracted watching this one, you're not gonna be able to make sense of anything.
Basic questions, Rick. Like, is this person real? Like when they cut to the Tokyo sequence and it's in the rain and all these people are walking, and I'm like, okay, are these people real people that live in the facility?
Okay, well, it's first off, it's not Tokyo. It's a lair.
It's a recreation.
It's a testing facility.
Yeah,
which is mind-boggling because the size of these testing facilities is just bizarre.
And there's 4 of them. There's Tokyo, New York, Berlin, and one more, I think.
London,
maybe. It doesn't matter. But all of them are
it really doesn't matter.
5 city blocks, huge.
Hong Kong, I think.
Hong Kong, maybe. Okay. So there's all these different places where they
Yeah.
test their zombie infections. And
Yeah.
so are these all clones? They must be, I guess.
Everyone's a clone.
Just assume it's a
yeah.
clone.
Just assume everyone's a clone.
And they decided to clone the Stars team from the original one
Yeah.
because why not?
Sure. But now they're, I want to say bad guys, but now they're not on Alice's side.
But again, and I hate to do this, dude, but there's an apocalypse going on outside.
I know.
Right? All of this shit is happening. They have hundreds of thousands of people,
Yeah.
human resources.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't try to make sense. Like, it is just a series of scenes that happen. And yeah, it's
Which you
cool
can
to see Michelle Rodriguez again.
For
but
sure.
nothing that happens matters.
No.
Like,
I mean, I can only assume that all these I say stages because it's a video game, right?
Right.
It's very video gamey. I can only assume these are stages from the video game that they just kind of went plunk, plunk, and just put right into the game. Or movie, I mean, is what I'm assuming. I don't know.
again, and we'll never know. And maybe this is what's really hurting our experience.
Yeah.
But I do think if you're making an adaptation, you can't assume that someone watching this movie has read the novel. So you can't assume
True.
they have the cheat sheet.
Exactly.
And same thing with if you're making it out of a video game. We might have a rough idea in our heads about what Resident Evil is, but if it's vital information that we need to understand, like who are these people? Are they real?
Yeah.
Does anything matter?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and then you have to ask you, like, I'm struggling through, like, what was the goal of this movie? Like, what,
well,
like,
okay, let's talk plot, because I
Alright.
failed to talk plot, but because it's convoluted.
Yeah.
Opening action scenes, then what we think is a dream sequence, but spoilers will turn out later not to be a dream sequence.
Yeah.
She wakes up again, and someone has released the security system in the building to help her escape.
Yes, the
get her
testing
clothes.
facility with all the
Because
cities.
of course she wakes up almost naked again on a table.
Yeah, with the paper strips, yeah.
So she gets some clothes, she gets some guns, and then the Red Queen, who's I guess good in this one, tells her that there's somebody inside that's going to help her escape. Not only that, but there's a STARS team coming to rescue her. And so some of her old friends who have been overtaken with the weird umbrella insignia implanted in their chest, which makes them puppets, and monsters and zombies. And they have to run through these different environments. And yeah, there's a liquor the size of a car, and yeah, there's zombies that look like Nazis and fire machine guns and drive tanks.
We do get more hammer zombies, though.
Yeah,
The
and we
giant
do get more
hammers,
hammer. And again, like by themselves, I can see shiny, pretty lights. It's pretty to look at, but scene to scene, and a part of it was me, but not all of it.
Oh no!
Like,
Oh no!
I was
Not
just
all
like,
it was you.
I was just lost. It was a bunch of light and sound and noise, and it meant nothing to me. So this is gonna be a thumbs down review.
So to me, this is the tip of the cap homage movie to like everything. There's Dawn of the Dead with the waking up and your kid's or your husband's a zombie and you escape with your kid. There's Aliens where she has
big aliens,
alien where you get it's Ripley with her adopted daughter fighting, getting hunted by a big thing, right? There's homages to the previous movies with the Star Team, and so that for me that's almost all it was. It was just like, hey, remember that? Look at this, look at that.
Greatest hits.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll give you a good movie in the last chapter, or so we hope. But for now, remember all the other movies?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's something that kind of maybe looks like that, sort of.
Yeah. That was essentially the movie for me. So, I
was looking for positive things to say, and after some time, I found a couple. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Michelle Rodriguez gets to play two characters in this.
Two characters,
and
yes.
one of them is not Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
She's just a normal person who doesn't have attitude or isn't like ready to punch anyone.
No,
and
she's
isn't,
just trying to survive.
She's just a normal person trying to help this sweet little girl who just happens to cross her path. And it's like the only time I feel like I've seen Michelle Rodriguez play a person who's not constantly pissed off.
We should add that her character, the soft character, is essentially a clone in one of these places meant to die by their testing facility.
They're all just sheep meant to be eaten by zombies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but it's for whatever reason Michelle Rodriguez, and she's also here again as a Stars member. But in that incarnation, she's super evil. She's like the meanest of them all,
and she's juiced.
Yeah, and then she injects herself with one of the viruses, the T virus or the D virus or the who gives a shit virus, the tentacle monster virus, which they all are.
Yep.
But I did think that was cool, and as much as I didn't buy the facility, like its existence, or like why they would have this, or if they did have this, like why they would maybe not use these resources in a completely different, more effective way that made sense, the actual look of the facility was quite cool.
Oh yeah.
And the recreations of the different environments were all very distinct.
I mean, Japan and the rain in particular, just like it really popped. Like it looked great.
Yeah. And all of the movies have that going for them. Again, like I said at the beginning, big budget zombie spectacle is kind of that, and I guess Mila Jovovich is attractive, but that was the thing selling the tickets. It wasn't, Resident Evil is the coolest thing ever.
No.
But man, if they'd have started here, I don't think I would have moved forward.
This would not be a good way to start. No.
And again, yeah, that's the same Stars team from the first movie, but they're not. They act completely differently. And so when they get killed off, we don't feel anything.
No, it's just like, oh, well, they're just a clone anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's also got one of my least favorite final fights. It shouldn't be, because it was essentially a kung fu battle between Alice and Rodriguez. Right. But I just the zombie element for me wasn't in the final fight. It was just like two badass women kicking the shit out of each other.
Two badass women kicking the shit out of each other I liked.
Yeah.
But what I didn't like was when she would do these punches and we'd get this X-ray vision.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'd see these bone
right.
breaks happen.
Yeah.
Including the one character who she kills by punching and stopping his heart. And then she does the same move on Alice. And they do the same zoom in, showing her heart get compressed and stop beating.
Yep.
But Alice doesn't die. She just keeps fighting. So, like, why did you show us that?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. It's probably the most confusing of the six, to be sure.
It's perplexing.
Yeah.
But I did like the image of her being broken through the ice and all of the zombies under the water.
Yes.
Kind of like pulling her down.
Yeah.
She may be unkillable, but it's going to be a bad place to be.
Yeah, you're not going to like where you are for a while. Yeah. I guess my recommendation is watch 4 and 5 back to back, because they kind of blend into one anyway. So just watch it as like one 3-hour movie, I guess, is what I would recommend.
Well, then we go to the end.
That's a lot of 3 hours. That's 3 hours of bad. But anyway, go.
I would. My recommendation is, if you're watching them, just space them out. Do like one a month or whatever. So like you can maybe look forward to them, or like where the fact that you have to sort of remind yourself will actually be a benefit, not a deficit to the experience. But it's shapeless. Like, I can't close my hands on the movie. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what it's about. I can tell you in a limited degree what happened. But then it all jumps to the end of the movie, where all of the characters who haven't been killed off, suddenly we're at the White House. And Wesker's there, and he's one of the good guys. But weren't you bad and then dead again? But it doesn't matter. Here we are. We're doing this.
This is what it is.
We're doing this. Yeah. And you guys, look at all of these zombies and these demons and these flying, like, pterodactyl, demonic bird things. And this is gonna be the most epic fight. Yeah. We're gonna go into the last chapter.
Yeah, you don't even know, guys.
This is gonna be so epic. So maybe this was a little bit of like a clip show, and maybe we didn't have a story to tell, but boy,
just you
get
wait.
ready. We were just biding our time so that we can really knock your fucking socks off. And spoilers. They do not. But so much effort is put into the last few minutes of this movie. Yeah. Basically saying, we're sorry, we know this movie sucked, but I swear to God,
the next one's going to be so good.
So good. And I was just laughing at the movie, not with, at the movie. So, to reiterate, it's a thumbs down review.
Not the best installment, shall we say.
Is there anything else you wanted to say? I know we've kind of been short work on this one, but...
probably for good reason it's short work on this one. Let me just...
I feel like I spanked it pretty severely, although, in my defense, it had misbehaved.
Yeah, I mean, the best part was the giant horde at the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Kevin Durand is an actor who I've seen in things and I like. He kind of has a badass end where he's been affected by the monster and he agrees to stay behind.
Right.
And the STARS team shoots him, but as he gets shot, he throws his gun up in the air. And he's down on the ground, they assume dead, but then he catches the gun and kills one more of them just because he wanted to kill it. And I've seen that actor in other things. I think he's pretty capable. And it's silly, but it was, again...
Yeah.
I was smiling at that point. I was like, okay, you guys, I see what you did there. And there was not enough of that in this movie.
Yeah.
So, good enough.